In the name of Allah, the widely merciful, the ever merciful. This time we discuss the explanation of Sheikh Mohammad Assara'wi of the verse 35 of the Surah Alnnou'r number 24 in the Noble Qur'an. Surah Alnnou'r, verse 35. Allah is the illumination of the heavens and the earth, such as his illumination is like a mishkat in left square bracket, that is, that in walls of the rural houses, right square bracket, within which is a bulb. The bulb is within a glass. The glass, as if it were a glaring star kindled from a blast olive tree, neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil would almost glow, even if it touched by fire. An illumination upon an illumination, Allah guides to his illumination that he wills. And Allah sets forth parables for people, and Allah is ever knowing of all things. End of translation. We said, thus indeed Allah the Almighty gave us the light sensuous by which we see the seeing of the things, and has made it a way to the moral illumination. And we said that, when the low light darkens, each one of us lights on himself as per his abilities and potential in the lighting. If the sun had risen, and Allah the Almighty illuminated the universe, each one of us extinguishes his light, because the light of Allah the Almighty is enough, just as our light is enough sensuous matters, also is enough in moral matters. If Allah the Almighty has legislated a rule regulating the movement of light, beware of objecting with something from you, as you turned off the sensuous lights in front of his lamp. Thus turn off your moral lamps as well in front of his provisions and orders, and the matter is evident in the cosmic verses. Quote, Allah is the illumination of the heavens and the earth. End of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket, as we say in a proverb, so and so is the light of the house. Thus this verse does not define Allah the Almighty to us, but defines for us his influence in us. Thus he, extolled is he, the illuminator of the heavens and the earth, and they are the widest things that we imagine, whereas everything in them is clearly apparent and not hidden. Then, Allah the Almighty strikes for us an illustrated example of his illumination, saying, quote, such as of his illumination is like a mishkat in left square bracket, that is, that in walls of rural houses, right square bracket. End of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket. Any, the such as of his illuminating of the heavens and the earth is, quote, like a mishkat. End of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket. And it is the no-penetrated that which they design in the wall to put the lamp in or the torch. Thus it confines the light and concentrates and gathers it in one place, so it is intensive and making no shadow in front of the path of the light. And the lamp, a small bowl in which is placed oil or gas later. In the middle of it a wick absorbs the oil remaining unchanged on fire. If the light of the wick stays in the air, It manipulated and squandered its light, and caused smoke. It takes from the air more than its need for combustion, so they made around it with a barrier of glass to prevent the air. Thus, the light comes from it clear and smokeless. Thus, the evolution of the lamp to the bulb and went lighter and increased its efficiency, and of that is Allah the Almighty saying, quote, the bulb is within a glass, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket, but it is not an ordinary bottle, but, quote, the glass, as if it were a glaring star, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket means planet of pearl, and pearl enlightened by itself. Point as well, its oil is not normal, but an oil of a blessed olive oil tree. The right Almighty says, quote, kindled from a blessed olive tree, neither of the east nor of the west, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket. It means, an olive tree, neither of the eastern nor western, means, it is neither eastern, because it is western, nor western, because it is eastern. Thus it is eastern and western alike. But how? They said, because the olive tree, when it is in the east, the west will be dark, and vice versa, when it is in the west, the east will be dark. Then, and there gone on it light and darkness. But this is neither eastern nor western, but eastern and western, nothing reserved from it the light. And this affects its oil, thus of its clarity and glittering, quote, whose oil would almost glow, even if it touched by fire, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket, and gives the tree the strong light that fits its filiation of the Sunday. Thus, if the Islam sun illuminates the world, then olive tree is her daughter, from which derives its light, so it never lacks the sunlight. So, the example of enlightening the heavens and the earth is the example of this complete image, as we described, and look at the gap where there is a lamp of these specifications would be in a dark place. Thus, the heavens and the earth, although of their wideness, are like this gap. The example here is not for the illumination of Allah the Almighty, but for His enlightenment of the heavens and the earth. The illumination of Allah the Almighty is something else that is beyond to be described. The example here is only to bring the issue closer to the understanding of the mind. Allah the Almighty is the light of the heavens and the earth, i.e., He is the illuminator of them, and this is a very clear thing. When you look at the sunlight, the moment it shows up, the universe is revealed, so with no other light appears with, and fade the lights of the other planets and the stars, despite its existence with the sun at one time, but overwhelms them the sunlight, like the poet in praise, quote, as though you are a sun and the pins are planets ellipsis points, if you emerged, from them appeared not a planet, end of quote. Then Allah the Almighty says, quote, an illumination upon an illumination, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket. He, right the Almighty, did not leave us in the sensuous light only, but has sent to us another illumination at the hands of the apostles, peace be on all of them. It is the illumination of the curriculum, which regulates the movement of our life, as if the Almighty tells us, I sent you an illumination over an illumination, sensuous, and the light of my values and morals. And if you testify that my sensuous light is illuminating your heavens and the earth, and if it appears, fades in front of it all of your lights, thus to know that the illumination left square bracket emission right square bracket of my message as well prevails all of your methods, and it is not for you to take the methods of human beings in the presence of the message of Allah the Almighty. And Allah the Almighty says, quote, Allah guides to his illumination that he wills, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket i.e., to his moral illumination, that of the curriculum and the light of the commissions, and the infidels have not found the way to this illumination, even though they found the way to the sensuous light in the sun and the moon, and benefited from it. They put out their lamps for it, but they did not have luck in the moral illumination, where they closed their eyes and their hearts, and did not hear of it. Point. They benefited not from it. They had to understand that Allah the Almighty's moral illumination, such as the sensuous, is indispensable and irreplaceable. It is wondrous that a person whenever goes deeply into the guidance, his illumination is increased illumination over an illumination, as he says, Surah Al-Anfal, verse 29. Point. Quote, O, you who have believed, if you fear Allah, He will grant you, a furqan, left square bracket all decisive separator right square bracket, end of quote. And Allah the Almighty says, Sheikh Mohammad, verse 17. Quote, He left square bracket that is, Allah right square bracket, increases them in guidance and He brings them their piety. End of quote. Then Allah the Almighty says, quote, and Allah sets forth parables for people, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket. It means for lesson and cues such as the formal ideals of illumination, end quote. And Allah is ever knowing of all things, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 35 right square bracket. All the translations are by Al House.